Well, hello. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
This is the amazing Kristine Buckwalter. She also happens to be my aunt, which makes it extra special.
Yes,
Yeah, she's like,
for
yes.
me.
Um, it's such an honor to have you on here and to share your perspective. I've loved hearing the perspective of the program and the strategies from varying stages of life and walks of life. Some are married, some are not. Some have kids, some don't. Some are working, some are not. So it's just really valuable to have such an amazing, diverse, group of women in different walks of life sharing their story. And I really valued yours and having you in the program. But I would love to first just hear initially, briefly, what drew you to the program? What were you hoping to get out of it? And do you feel like early morning habit helped you make progress in that direction?
Sure. Well, thank you for the privilege of giving my feedback. I'm happy to share it. I'm single, so I don't have children. I am working full time. So while others would have the challenge, especially with having children, this was not my situation. You had talked about the program coming up, and it was at a time when I was really just trying to make investments in um, my health and well-being. And so when you started talking about it, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this. This sounds like a neat thing to be part of, doing it with other people. And gaining from you on a variety of different areas, that all sounded intriguing to me. So the timing was great. I like running is probably my favorite number one kind of exercise, but here we were just past the time change in the fall and going into the winter months. And so that also, the timing of it was good for me.
I love that. What would you say was, in those goals going into early morning habit, what would you say was the most impactful training, or can you think of a moment in the program that especially sticks out to you as like this specific concept has really impacted my life?
Mhm. Um, well, the one that I've repeated the most, so maybe that's the obvious one I'd
A
say.
great, yeah, great factor.
The sleep one, I really valued that one. I really valued all of them. I felt like they were all excellent and had, deposits to consider, little changes to adjust to, that kind of thing. But the sleep one, I notoriously haven't been a great sleeper. I'm a light sleeper. Um, I'm easily wake up, and so I was really drawn to that one. I already had the sunrise alarm clock, which I will plug all day long, because that I think is really helpful. But the getting enough protein at dinner is the little tidbit that I've passed along a lot. That has really been beneficial to me. I feel like I sleep more deeply. I have a little bit of heart disease, so I will, have some vegetarian meals, vegan meals, that kind of thing, which wasn't necessarily probably planning ahead of how much protein I'm getting. But I've been more consistent about hitting that, and I'm sleeping better. So
Mm.
that's a win-win for me. Yeah.
That's a win for me because it means the sensory sleep rehab system is working. So that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, that's a free tip. That's a free tip. For those of you like the sensory sleep rehab system, what is that? We're leveraging all five senses to restore deeper sleep. And when we talk about taste, we talk about a couple nutritional strategies, and one of them is to get between 20 and 30 grams of protein, lean protein, at dinner. And we talk about why, but I love hearing that feedback. Multiple women have said they think that was really significant for them. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Would you say you were naturally a morning person before starting the program? Would you say you are by nature?
I would say I am kind of by nature and by function. I really don't like to
Yeah.
rush in the morning. I like to have time to be slow and incorporate things. So I was already getting up early by habit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That could be my nature, although, I like to stay up late too.
Yeah. Yeah. Work was kind of making you get up earlier.
Mhm.
What would you say to the woman who's concerned, though, about the early part of early morning habit? This is a frequent concern
Mhm.
that is conveyed a lot. And I get it because I was that woman. So there is zero judgment here. That was literally me, which is why I firmly believe if I can do it, anyone can do it. Um, but what would you say to that woman who likes the slow morning? Maybe she likes to sleep in. She has a very hard time getting up earlier. From your perspective
Mhm.
and experience through early morning habit, what would you say to her?
Well, I would say for sure to give it a try because nothing was a stark change. I can't remember
Mm,
from the first week. It might have been get up 15 minutes earlier. And that's pretty gentle. And I would say, if you're incorporating some of the other advice that you gave about a sunrise alarm clock, I love that. I think that is really valuable because your body is adjusting to the light. So you're already kind of starting to wake up. That is also, I think, less jarring
mhm,
um, to utilize. And then, having a sleep mask if you need that. And for sure, getting the protein the night before, all of those things to maybe get a better sleep. I would say give it a try.
mhm.
It does take time to make that shift, but I will say, and I repeated that this weekend to your brother, um, of how much that I valued your asking the question to clarify the why.
Mm,
That's always really helpful when you're, trying to do something that's challenging, that goes against what you've been doing or what you think is your natural go-to is kind of defining your why and letting that bubble up to the top. The conviction of it, the value of it, when you're making the choices. That I think that's really helpful. Because at the
mm.
end of the day, for me personally, I really valued incorporating some of these other things into my morning. And all of a sudden, I didn't have those in the evening after work. So I didn't have to rush to make dinner. I had more time or getting, going out for a walk or getting together with friends, whatever, something else going on. So.
I love that. The idea of clarifying the why is something that we talk about early on in the program. And I would love to hear how the essential concepts of starting your day being not doing, which
Mhm.
is, the main message of early morning habit, um, followed by an efficient, effective workout. How did that fuel your why?
Yeah, for sure. It kind of was going in tandem as I was, I just determined that I was gonna embrace the program for what it was. I was gonna do all the things and, dive in and listen to everything and try it. And so that was kind of my initial why. I think as, I liked morning already, so that wasn't something that I was gonna have to shift. I like having time to linger over praying and spending time with God. That was already something that I was really valuing first thing in the day. The main thing that I wasn't doing was exercising also. So in the middle of just embracing the program and valuing, I think, so I guess it kind of formed as I was going into it of like, I really like, I see the benefit of incorporating these two things that are important to me already, but also, especially the older that you get, the more that you realize I need to invest in the physical thing.
Mm,
Um, I valued having that in the morning.
mhm.
And so now I have alarms set in my in my morning. I get up and I read and drink my beverage of choice, um and then an
I
alarm
like
goes
how
off.
she so nondescriptly said her beverage of choice.
Well, I drink
It's
mate,
not alcohol, people.
not usually. No. It's
That's
mate.
the other program. That's not an early morning habit. That's the other program.
This is the ant we keep
Just
in.
sounded funny.
Um,
Yes, beverage of choice.
Yeah, I drink mate. It's a green tea, but you drink it with a straw, and I don't know, I
Mm,
like it.
yeah,
Um,
part of your routine.
part of my routine. But then I have alarms that are set, like get on the road, do what you're gonna do. And I'll give a plug for your Mad Fit exercise videos.
Hmm.
I really liked those, and there are some days where, I'm looking, okay, I'm gonna do that 12-minute one. I mean, I think there was one that was 12 minutes long, and sometimes
Hmm.
that's all you've got, but it's an investment. It's a positive investment, and I really liked the workouts, and the
I love
stretches.
that.
Became it became part of my why, that I really value this more, accomplishing these things in the morning, and you gave resources to be able to do that.
I love that feedback. I'm curious if you can think what it felt like to not be getting your workouts done first thing in one word, to now how it makes you feel to get your workouts done first thing,
Sure.
if that makes
Okay.
sense. Like you
Yeah.
went from feeling this to now feeling this.
Well, maybe the good first word would be pressure.
Mm, I
Pressure was,
love that word.
okay, well, I have, choir practice tonight. So when am I going to
Yeah.
exercise? I'm going to have to go for a quick run after work and then eat whatever
Yes.
I happen to have. And then, so pressure could be the first one. And the follow-up one would be, I mean, peace might be too much. Maybe just it's not stressful,
Yeah.
relaxed,
I'm hearing freedom. Does that
freedom.
resonate?
Yeah,
Yeah. Is what I'm here. I mean, that's what I'm hearing you
it
describe,
is.
which I resonate with. That was absolutely yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was pleased, I'll just circle back. I was pleased with how 30 minutes, even 15 minutes, some of those, it felt significant. It felt
Mm,
sufficient.
mm-hmm.
Which you addressed that in one of the weeks, do we really have to do the 60-90 minute workout?
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily. And 30 minutes for what we're trying to accomplish is great.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
doable. And so freedom is the
Yeah.
right, yeah, from pressure to freedom.
Well, and I love your perspective too of like what you're talking about. I resonate with so much because that was definitely my story. Um, is that idea of it's almost like the pressure hangs over you because you know that exercise is a vital part, especially in our family. It's no secret. You guys have heard me talk about before our family's heart disease history. Like the risk of not exercising is very physical and tangible in our family.
That's
And
right.
so it truly is a life saving. And so there's an ongoing pressure that I think a lot of us feel in a much deeper way that like my life depends on me exercising.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
so there is sort of a feeling of like, okay, I need to get this done. But when the calendar is so full, and then when you end the day not having gotten it done,
Mhm.
it really does just feel it is that sense of pressure, which I think makes you feel almost heavy and burdened, like, ah,
I missed it.
yeah, I missed it. And to have it done first thing Yeah, I think you described it so well. Pressure to freedom is, I think, precisely the words I would have used when it came to getting my workout done
Yeah.
first thing.
And I was on this trip with your mom and dad for 17 days and didn't do didn't do it once.
Yeah.
So when I first came back, I was actually a little bit sick, and so, wasn't doing anything again. And then I'm like digging back into the why.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let this pass by. Just need to, so, in the moment where, you know, you're not going on autopilot habit, pulling up that
Yeah.
why and letting it be really strong is really helpful.
I love that. And I think it also demonstrates real life. You know, it's so
Yeah.
easy to look from the outside in, and especially when you're looking at fitness programs or, men and women who just look like they live really fit and have it all together. It's easy to think that it's just natural for them to be
Mhm.
getting their stuff done every day without significant challenge, when in reality, speaking for myself, and I think just about most people out there, that is more the reality. Like, you go for periods of time where you're totally off the bandwagon, but
Mhm.
the people who actually live fit are the ones who are able to get back on
Yeah.
and dig back into their why. And so it
Right.
isn't the all or nothing mentality, because that leads to burnout.
Mhm.
So then what's the point of being fit if you're mentally exhausted?
Yes. True.
So I love that. I love that perspective. So
Mhm.
digging into your why. You guys just got several beautiful tips, things that we talk about in the program. We establish our why. We talk about why that is so essential and is the secret to creating discipline over motivation. And
Mhm.
then also the protein tip. Those of you listening and watching, if you want a little hack to sleeping better at night, we give a lot of them in Early Morning Habit. There's an
Mhm.
entire week dedicated to diving deep into sleep. But just one really helpful tip is to get 20 to 30 grams of lean protein at dinner.
Mhm.
There you go.
There
That's
you
reason enough.
go. That's
If you
reason
want to
enough.
sign up, we don't need anything else. If you would love to sign up, we would love to have you in the show notes. There is a link to join the program. It is Kristine's referral link. She does get a small commission as a thank you for sharing her story. But if her story resonates with you and you want to sign up for the program, we'd love to have you. Please use her link as a way to say thank you for sharing her story. And we would love to rise with you guys. And when you sign up and you join the program, you meet amazing women like Kristine, there to cheer you on, rising together. It was
Mhm.
such an honor having you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Well, it was my honor, Anna, to glean from you as a professional. That was fun, and you have so much to offer. There's a lot there. It's a great program.
Thank you. Thank you for watching the Imperfectly Empowered podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking below. And if you missed our last video, then be sure to check it out right here. We'll see you next time on the podcast. Your story matters, and you are loved.